much, and welcome to the inaugural sort of training event. We've had one sort of get together before the collective kicked off, but today marks the start of a series of events that will run over the course of May. And then really I want to keep that rolling, looking at getting guest speakers in and really having regular events, particularly with subject matter experts, so people that are knowledgeable about particular products and tools, so that we can get their insights as to what the opportunities are for consultants. So the lens across everything in the collective is really about how it can improve business for consultants, and as a result of that, increase the impact that we have with the clients that we're working with. So today we'll just do it really, haven't got any PowerPoint slides or anything. We will just do it as people talking to people. When we get bigger with these, we will actually start running them as Mindhive sessions. So one of the things that I'm going to set up is we'll issue each of you with an email address, first name dot last name at mindhiveconsultants.com, and set that up so that it forwards to your normal email address. And one of the things that will do, not only will it give you the opportunity to use it. Hi, Taryn. And I'll just backtrack for this one sentence for Taryn's benefit. So looking at setting up all of our first 100 consultants, and we may extend beyond that, with a dedicated Mindhive Consultants email address. And that will be something that if you want to use it for consulting work and so on, you can. But the main reason for doing it is that it will give you access to a community, to Mindhive space that is a secure Mindhive space for us working as consultants. So as I've explained when I've been doing the onboarding, from a security standpoint, when Mindhives are created, they're either created in Mindhive Earth, or they're created in your organisation or in a client's organisation, and they are ring-fenced, so that we as a group have a chance to share insights and so on. We will create one of those venues, if you like, for us, and you will need a separate email address to get into that. And what that will mean is that at future events like this, or workshops and so on, we will actually be able to collaborate on a Mindhive discussion board. And so I can facilitate a session, or other people can facilitate a sessions, and we can just run through, and everyone can have a chance to type in and contribute at once. And that's one of the strengths of this approach, is that you don't have to wait for someone like me to stop talking. You can actually have your say and contribute, everybody together in different parts of the board. So, Freddie, I was just saying that today's session, and this is about the numbers I think we're going to have here today, we're going to do a little bit of passing the microphone around, a little bit of get to know one another, a little bit of speed networking with a bit of structure around it. And future sessions, when we get out to bigger numbers where that's not so practical, we will use this email address that you'll be given of first name, last name at mindhiveconsultants.com to get into a discussion board to do so.
Okay.
So I guess my vision and where I suggested to Bruce, I felt a really good way for us to grow the Mindhive out and get it into the hands of as many consultants and enterprises as possible, was to create the collective. I've run communities before and set up communities on this Mighty Networks platform previously. And I guess the flavour that I see, which isn't necessarily the direction that it has to go, is that it becomes a place to meet and network, a place to learn, a place to share, and hopefully those conversations and connections will lead to deeper connections that lead to collaborations. And I'd really love to see this turn into sort of an ecosystem of like-minded people who want to work together on different opportunities and projects that come up, and find ways to collaborate with complementary skills. So that's broadly my vision for the space. But the beauty of collective intelligence and so on is that there are much brighter people in the room, and lots of good ideas that can be brought to the table to shape the detail around that, and perhaps to send it in, steer it in a slightly different direction. I guess the broad principle, though, is that the people that we're wanting to attract in here, we want them to be happy to talk about consultancy work. We want them to be collaborative and to basically be like-minded about creating value for others, that it's a give and take community rather than just one side. And the outcomes is, and this is what I see, what I'm quite excited about, the opportunities of AI as well as the opportunities of community, is that we're using the wisdom of the crowd to help save us time, build capacity, build capability, build relationships, and the outcome is hopefully, that all translates into better business, that there's more money flowing, that we've got a bit more ability to do things that we want to do, whatever that might be. So does that sound broadly good? Is that generally the impression of the community that you're joining, and we're sort of up for that type of stuff?
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, what I thought we might do is do 3 mini rounds of speed networking. So sort of 3 different topics, and we'll just pass the microphone around. So the first one will be about you. So, where are you located? We got someone else? Oh, okay. No, Taryn's just texted in. So the first round, there are 3 things. Where are you located? What type of client and what type of service are you providing in your consultancy business? So tell us a little bit about, your niche in any consulting work that you're doing. And then the third one is, what do you like about working as a consultant? So what are the things that give you some joy, and by sort of stepping into this type of career or work that's happening? So I'll just go around the room clockwise as I sort of see it. Where you're located, type of client, and what you like about consulting. And Sonia, I might put you on the spot over in Perth to kick us off, please.
Excellent, thanks for that. I'm Sonia, I'm in Perth, as Rob has just told you all. I am currently not in a consulting capacity. I'm working full-time for a digital marketing agency. I've been there for 4 years. I've been consulting in the past and thinking about next steps now, and moving out of where I currently am, exploring the next opportunity. So that's me.
And when you were doing the consulting work, what were the sort of things that gave you a buzz?
I was doing a lot of work with SMEs and sort of helping. It was kind of the advent of social media, early days of social media, so helping small businesses get online, basically. So I was an early adopter of social media, and I've been spending a lot of time in the AI space. So it looks like a repeat pattern.
Michael, to you.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Indeed.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Michael from Warburton, which is an hour and a half outside Melbourne, into northeast direction. I don't do so much consulting now. I used to do more consulting in the past, mainly small, medium businesses. What I do is more training and coaching. So I use mindfulness as a baseline to work with people who want training in management, in leadership, coaching of executives and professionals. Trying to think what was one of the reasons why I stopped consulting is because it wasn't that exciting for me. But I guess what is exciting, and I think that's probably more general, but definitely applies in consulting, is the point where you are with a client And there is a sense of connection. A lot of my work is based on the difficulties that we experience as humans for our neural systems being wired to be in a very specific setup, a tribe on the savannah. And I say that most of us walk around with tribe and wilderness-shaped holes in our heart. And every now and then in consulting or coaching or training, you come across when you have a connection with someone or someone click into something that puts them back into that sense of interconnectedness. And those are exciting moments for me. Thank you.
Wonderful. Julie, to you.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, everyone. Yeah, Julie Besottle, and I'm in Wagga. Wagga. It's so great you have to say the name twice. I have my own small business, so I'm currently transitioning from a government space, which manage a statewide program in New South Wales, and I can see how Mindhive can really be applicable in that space. So I have sort of two hats on. I can see how that might work in that space. But personally, yeah, like the man who spoke just before, I'm an intuitive consultant as well. So I work with individuals and also groups, and more so help people just to become self-powered and not look outside themselves all the time. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. But I'm sort of looking at Mindhive as to how I can, like a hub for other like-minded people who want to come together and create collaboratively, whatever projects they might be. So I'm very interested in how that might apply. And what do I like about working with clients as a consultant is coming from government. No rules, no restrictions. You can work in whatever way, you know, that you see fit. And it's, yeah, you apply the structure how you want it and not be governed how to do it.
Awesome. Freddie?
Thanks.
Oh, you're on mute there, Freddie.
Rookie mistake, sorry. Yeah, I'm Freddie. I work for a major client, not so much in consulting, but certainly providing advice around sustainability and operations. What I like about it is because I work sort of nationally with all their different state operations teams and various other teams, I understand their business sometimes more than they do, particularly, and a lot of my guidance is around, you know, this was our approach, you know, in Queensland, and not, therefore I make this recommendation, and I can kind of cut through. And it's just good to be a trusted advisor. You know, realistically, you know, the company that I work with, they're a $37 billion investment fund, but they value my advice, and it's you know, I guess good. It's good to be in that situation. The other things that I'm interested in is, you know, possibly some future development into different sort of businesses, and I'm really interested in AI, and also interested in marketing platforms as well, and social media.
Awesome. And actually, I probably should have said the next two rounds of this one will be about AI, sort of where you are, what you're doing, and then the third one is we'll talk about the collective a little bit to round things out. So, Taryn, whereabouts are you? What type of client are you looking at getting into? And you're a bit earlier in your journey. What are the reasons that you've gone into consultancy, if you're able to?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Taryn. I'm on the Gold Coast. My background is acute mental health nursing for the past 7 years. And before that, I just worked in aged care from when I was 16. I am passionate about intuitive intelligence and embodied leadership, reclaiming like personal power from systems of suppression and conditioning, and just teaching people about collective humanity and empathy as a revolutionary, sorry guys, I'm tired, mama today, technology and like nervous system language. I really like poetry, and I'm just very into like frequency, music, and trying to help others understand the neuroscience behind it. And I really like quantum physics and biophysics. I use them as gateways to help others understand like frequency and consciousness. So I am very young, but so it's a bit scary. I'm a bit of a feeling the imposter syndrome, but I've actually just
You're doing awesome.
Thank you. I just quit my nursing as a clinical facilitator. I was teaching students in mental health, but I felt the systems were all about hierarchy and power, and it was quite frustrating when I understood the hum beneath everything, I guess. So that was quite heartbreaking for me, but I knew that AI and using it to help humanity rather than disconnecting, but helping others connect could really be powerful. So I'm really appreciative, and yeah, it's nice to meet you all.
Jules, to you, and thanks, Taryn.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, amazing, Taryn.
Thank you.
Yes, Jules Pitt, based in Sydney, so transformation consultant. I've been solo now for coming up to 5 years. Love the variety of consulting, so generally the engagements will be between 6 months and 2 years. Professional services, kind of turnover between 10 and 50 million, and just love the variety, trying to understand why people do what they do. I learnt pretty early that I could design the best transformation program, but unless people did what they were meant to do, it would all be useless. So I got into some coaching, some organizational coaching, and love that aspect. Love the mentoring of the younger staff that I'm in with as well. Pulling different people together, so the collaborative aspect, whether I'm pulling them into a client engagement or having collaboration within the organization's teams. And just looking for productive change, really, and helping companies go through that. Yeah.
Awesome. James?
Okay, I'm about 5 years in like you, Jules. I typically have been doing project management and business development and proposal management consulting. And similarly, I had long-term engagements, but I found that I was providing the same work with no authority as a consultant. So I'm out of here. So I was trading forex at the same time, and I was using AI to trade and still am. And then so as part of my wanting to get out of that sort of longer term consulting gig, I have transferred into AI. So I'm pretty much 6 months into doing AI full time. I've just put a new website up and everything. But fundamentally, I'm looking at taking medium to mid-sized businesses from nothing to start. Because I'm seeing there's just so much noise in the marketplace. There's so much new stuff coming out daily, weekly. Everyone's talking about it, but the businesses are not moving because it's just a huge risk because there's not clarity. So that's what I do, is to say, well, let's do a little pilot. Let's put an agent in and let's go from there. And if that's been something bigger, that does. But otherwise, I'll do training, strategy workshops, readiness audits, things like that. So, I sort of talked about why I like consulting. I like being at home and working and then going out on gigs. And I'm 60 years old, so I'm ready to. I've had enough of working in offices and traveling in planes and carrying on. So suits my lifestyle now.
Awesome. And I'll throw a couple in with my Climateers hat on. So Climateers is a sustainability business looking at accelerating local climate solutions like food waste. And yeah, I just love the opportunity to create a bit of leverage and impact and meet interesting people. And so yeah, I'm reasonably been in management consulting for some time. Been a while since I've worked for somebody, but really enjoyed sort of tipping into Mindhive the last couple of months. Janta, thanks for joining us. So we'll go back the other way now, and this one's a quick one. So basically, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you been finding that ChatGPT's been helping your business? Assuming I think we all use ChatGPT to some extent, so 10 if it's helping a lot. And then, apart from ChatGPT, do you use other tools, and what's your favourite one? Just one other one. So, James, back to you.
I use it so much I start talking to it like it's a person, and say please and thank you. But I use it all the time. Pretty much everything I do, I punch in the question, the problem I have, and get a view. I use Gemini at the same time, so quite regularly I run questions on both of them to see the different answers. And I'm using Relevance AI for AI agent building. And I'm, I'll learn N8N when I am game, but I'm not a developer. But all these no code stuff is great. I'm really enjoying it. So and I'm emboldened by it.
All right. So we'll keep going. So, Jen, and we're actually, and I don't know whether my next meeting that I've got to jump out of is also on Teams, so I'm not sure whether we're going to have to finish when I jump or not. But welcome. Thanks for joining. We've just sort of been going around the room once. Intros to who we are and what we're doing, and now just about AI, scale of 1 to 10 as to how much ChatGPT is helping, and name one other one that you like and use. So, Jules?
Yeah, so chat, absolutely. I've developed my own little custom chat as well, which is good, and learning to train it. Replit is another one, the vibe coding. So that's just phenomenal to understand how it's actually building an app. It's creating the full tech stack. It's showing you what it's doing as it's going. I'm certainly no engineer or technical guy either, so it's fascinating to understand what is actually happening behind the scenes and then adjusting. So highly recommend that one.
Taryn, to you, 1 out of 10 for ChatGPT and any other tool. Mute. You're just on mute, Taryn.
Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. ChatGPT definitely, 1,000 out of 10. I also have been using AWS. I have an Amazon Left account, so I get some good credits on there. So I've been learning like Snowflake and Lex, and I love like Python coding, which is really coding is patterns and stuff. Is like Fibonacci, pretty like helpful. So that's I used to do enrichment classes at school for Fibonacci, so that's been like really helpful and like with coding. But I'm still learning like the tech side of it, so I'm just taking my time. But it really helps with my brain because I have ADHD, so my brain's just like spinning all the time. So ChatGPT helps me break down all my crazy plans that I just want to do everything at once, but I can't. So I'm learning how to do that. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, Jennifer, we might jump into you. So perhaps just really quickly introduce yourself, where you're from, and then just pick up with that question about what you think of ChatGPT and what else you're using.
Absolutely. So, hi everyone. I am a senior qualitative researcher at Platform One, and which is a software and research agency. And in terms of use of ChatGPT, I would give it a 9 out of 10, and I'll share why. Mostly because being a qualitative researcher, and one thing I must add at this stage is that I'm always logging into ChatGPT and realizing that it has more new features that it keeps introducing. One of the recent one was image generation, where, previously it would have generated an image with 5 thumbs or 6, but this time it came back to me with more questions going, how old do you want, the people in the image to be? What sort of clothing, what sort of action should they be doing, etc. So that was a lovely surprise. And the whole conversational aspect is amazing. I think as a qualitative researcher, I feel like it does a really good job in terms of summarizing, analyzing, and picking up key themes from content that's put in. It's definitely a lot more efficient. I think sometimes I just have to poke it a little more and challenge it and go, have you just extrapolated extensively on a single point? like how big is this issue versus, realistically like separating my data versus other data that's available elsewhere. So that's why I would give it a 9 out of 10. The other platform that I enjoy using is Google LM Notebook. And one of the interesting features over there has been the podcast generation, because quite often there is a lot of information that I need to read through and get through, whether it's through desk research or my own primary data. And I find it is so engaging to have it develop a podcast from everything that I've provided. And it's also a great way to get some practice into how to present to clients.
Thanks very much. Now, Freddie, I see you're sitting in the same room there as Agenda, so we might quickly to you.
Yeah, I'm using, ChatGPT. Obviously, I give it different days. I'll have a higher or lower rating of it. When I first started using it, I was absolutely amazed by the conversationality of it, but also the understanding. So, just to give a very quick example, on and off for 30 years, I've been working with graphic designers from around the world, and typically I know what I want and I'll sketch it up and then just try and get that, put through their software by them. And most of my experiences with various countries is that the communication between the two parties just goes back and forth 1,000 times when you're saying, yeah, but just move that little bit there, just move that little bit there. You just want to, and then they'll move something else or whatever. And so I wasn't getting that with ChatGPT, but I was last night actually. And it just what I finds difficult is if you want to change one aspect of it, it'll re-render the whole thing, and then you've got another problem. And it just mind-numbing how you can just be saying no, but just put the bottom of that tree in the ground. Just put it in the ground. Stop, put it in the ground, and you can tell it 1,000 times, and you can start saying that brown thing's dirt, that other thing's a tree, because you don't know what it doesn't know. You think you give it everything and it still can't get it. So, look, there's certainly some limitations, but sometimes it'll come up with a design far better than I've even thought of, in the way that it in the back end it brings in aspects that you haven't even considered. I think I think it's phenomenal actually. So yeah.
All right, thanks, Freddie. Now, I am going to have to jump out, and I guess a good starting point is we've got to meet each other a little bit. Michael and Sonia, whether you want to take us out with anything, and then we'll meet again another time in the same place. Sure. Michael, anything?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Very quickly. I've sort of tilted toward Gemini instead of ChatGPT. I probably should check up to the ChatGPT again. But yeah, I find it phenomenal. For example, if I combine ChatGPT and Gamma, I can create a training program that would have taken me 3 days to do the workbook and the slides and all that. It takes me less than half a day to do the whole thing, even when you consider hallucinations and fact checking and all that. So yeah, fantastic tool. I'm quite curious to learn more.
Awesome. Sonia, anything you want to throw in, and then we'll wind it up and catch you all later?
Really quickly, I'm not a developer. I've been building an app in lovable.dev. So similar, I think, to what Jules was saying. I've built like a prototype in days rather than months or years with no coding skills. So plenty of room to improve it, but I'm pretty excited about what that's opening up.
All right, well, thanks everyone for joining. Sorry I've had to cut it short, but look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Keep an eye on the events calendar and please do pop in. Bye.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
nice
Rob.
to meet you.
Thanks all.
Bye.